Welcome to Spotlight. I'm your host, Amitha. Join us weekly to get inspired by success stories and transformational events. Our guest today is an inspiring female artist who's making an impact with her work. She has recently made her debut in the South Indian film industry. It's my pleasure to welcome to our show, Dee Devan. Welcome, Dee.
Thank you, Amitha.
So exciting, Collywood, eh?
Yeah, super exciting.
I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. But first of all, let's just start off with your journey. Tell us a little bit more about your upbringing, your education, and so forth.
Absolutely. So where do I begin? I began to really enjoy music at a very, very young age. My mom's a veena teacher. Veena being a South Indian musical instrument, very similar to the sitar in the north, but played this way. And so I've heard music growing up my whole life. I also have just been exposed to Bollywood growing up. I used to watch a lot of Hindi movies and Collywood, which is the Tamil cinema. And I began to sing, I think, as a way to allowing myself to express all that I did not know I felt as a young child at the age of 8. And I would come home after school and sing every day. And I didn't understand why I brought that so much joy in my heart, but it's just something I had to do. And so my upbringing has been all over the world. My parents moved us. I would kind of call myself a global citizen almost. I grew up in Germany, in Malaysia, in Kuwait, and then India for a very short time. And then we moved to Canada. Throughout all that, music had been a constant. Dance had also been a constant in my life through all that. And arts in general. Apart from that, my parents also are from a very traditional background. They have an orthodox way of seeing life. And so they were like professional degree only, type of thing.
Can relate.
Many immigrant stories, right?
Yeah.
So I ended up doing chemical engineering.
Okay.
And that's my background. Engineering is my background. I come from a technical background and a family of engineers, actually. So but music was the only constant that kept going on as I pursued the things that were sort of something that were immigrant expected, almost you could say, Asian family expected. Yeah. So
yeah, but it's great like that. There was always that pull within you towards the
undeniable
music, whether sing, dance.
Absolutely, undeniable obsession with the voice, almost.
So at what point, like engineering, music? You were going to decide between the two. At what point did it inspire you to turn to music? Hey, this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life.
Wow, I feel I've been doing music for the rest of my life already. Especially since I was so young, I'm like, education was more like, okay, I'm going to school, I'm back, now let's sing, or let's dance, I feel like I've been doing it my whole life already. So for me, I've worked as an engineer for about 6 years now. And then I decided, what if I wanted to pursue an artistic life separate from what I've been told my whole life? I was singing with a band for nearly the whole time that I had worked throughout my career, like 6 years, 9 to 5, and then on the weekends, rehearsals, shows, big, massive venues.
So simultaneous, it was
I was doing it at the same time.
Great. Wow.
Because there was no way that I could pursue just the engineering path, knowing very well that I had this brewing passion and obsession for such a long time. So I managed 2 worlds. It was very busy.
Oh, wow. Yeah, hats off to you.
I think majority of us have to do that anyway in this kind of economy and the times, but that's what I was doing. And then 2.5 years ago, I decided, this inner voice kept going, what if you pursued music full time? What if you pursued the artistic life full time? Because you've never experienced it. Do it for you. And so I somehow built the courage to be like, yes, I quit my engineering position at this company, which I was doing well at, and pursue music. And that the journey started 2 years ago, or 3 years now.
Hats off to you.
Thank
because,
you.
As you said, in uncertain times, like we have right now, plus, like you were saying, how, the South Asian family pushes more towards some, stereotypical careers.
Of course.
Hats off to you. You made that jump.
Thank you.
What were some of the challenges? Did you have any?
Oh boy, did I have challenges. I have stuff to tell you. Now, a lot of us don't prepare, society, our families don't prepare us for what happens when you choose freedom. And freedom doesn't always look freedom looks appealing, but what you do with it is so important. So when I've been brought up to believe, and it's very important, like the 9-to-5 life is necessary for stability. It's necessary for a lot of things that are comfortable in life. And it's ideal, to be honest, if you're enjoying the 9-to-5. But for me, the 9-to-5 prepared me only to know how to do 9-to-5, only how to be told what to do, how to be told, get to work, do this project, get back home. That was my life. And even at the band, it was like set through teens. Like I had to do 9-to-5 here, and then I had to do the band on the weekend. But when I decided to quit the 9-to-5 and really explore what life would be like outside of the corporate life, I didn't know where to start. It was like, whoa, it was like being born again and being told, this is your new world. Go figure it out. All you've done for 28 years, go figure it out, because now it's no longer present. And that's very difficult because it's a mental shift. It's an emotional shift. It's also a shift from what your family have taught you, and now they no longer know how to support you. Because they're like, oh, we've never done this before. We don't know how to support you in this, emotionally or mentally. That's emotional and mental is the first step, I think, when you get there. And seeking people who have done it to mentor you.
Okay, so mentors as well, especially when you said like, the family doesn't know how to, because they have not experienced this.
Rightly so.
But so inspiring that you made the jump despite all that, fear. A lot of us have that fear and then don't go forth with it, but you did it, Dee. So hats off to you once again.
Thank you.
We want to find out more about what that led to with all the beautiful music you're creating.
Thank you.
But before that, it's time for a short break. Welcome back to Spotlight. We are talking to Dee Devan. So this is great. Now music is your full-time career. Tell us some of the projects that you have done so far. So we heard about the band that you were playing with simultaneously when you were also doing your engineering.
Yes.
But once you decided to go full-time, what came into you?
Yeah, so the band that I perform with even today, it's called Agni. They're an ethnic band, South Asian, catering to the Tamil audience as well as the general Indian population in the language of Hindi and all that. So I developed a lot of networks in that area, performing with them for nearly now 9 years. And so I decided to go to India to see if I could leverage those networks instead of starting from scratch, somewhere like in Hollywood.
Smart.
I preferred Bollywood would have been the right way to go. I can sing in 3 languages, in Tamil, Hindi, and English. Best place to do it is in a country that allows for all 3 languages. So when I went to India and I stayed there for about 2.5 years, I started to pursue music in Bollywood and Collywood. I would talk to a number of people who knew music directors in town. I had a few celebrity contacts who sang in the industry. Just because I wanted to know more about what they do, I reached out to them. They connected me to people, which was really lovely of some of them to do. One person in particular was Sasha Tirupati.
Nice.
She connected me to Dee Devan in Collywood, and through that I got an opportunity to sing a song for him. The movie industry, however, does have, it's a bit slippery in the sense that you never know whether a movie is going to come out. You don't know what will happen with your song. In the case of Dee Devan, the movie didn't release. So then the voice that I'd provided for an entire song was shelved, but I was told it'd be used for another movie. So it's still a possibility. I sang for Gibran.
I'm just going to interrupt, but for viewers who don't know, like Dee Devan, Sasha Tirupati, very big names in the Tamil music industry.
Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that happened very quickly as soon as I decided to go to India, actually, and pursue that. And then I sang for, I did some demo singing as well, which was a great experience because I got to meet Kamal Hassan through that. And
everybody knows Kamal Hassan.
Yes. I got an opportunity to spend 2 hours in the studio with Kamal Hassan and actually lay down a track.
Wow.
Yeah, and have interactions with him and talk to him about his passions and how he came into the industry, and he gave me tips. And I remember her shaking my hand at the end saying, "It was such a pleasure meeting you." And I remember word going around that Deepika, which is my full name, is such an expressive singer. And I was like, I cannot believe that that happened. Grateful to the universe, you know, because he's an idol of mine. I've seen him in so many movies.
Dreams are coming true.
Tell me about it. You put your mind out there and it happens, you know? And then I sang for Gautam Menon, who's also very well-known Bollywood and Collywood film director. I sang for a corporate project for him as well as for a movie. And then my final project was with Harris Jairaj, also well-known in Bollywood and Collywood. And the movie that I sang for him, a song released in February.
I saw that. It's actually, there is a trailer of it on YouTube as well,
That's
right?
correct.
You need to go check it out.
Yes, it's the movie Dev, and the song's called De Macha Dev, which is the title track of the movie.
Yeah.
I also wrote lyrics and sang for the female actor introduction in the movie.
Okay.
They wanted a Beyonce-style vocals, and I provided that, I suppose. A very street-style vocal for her, confident persona. Apart from that, I write my own music in English. I'm an R&B, soul, neo-soul, R&B, and pop singer-songwriter.
Nice.
So I've had my singles come out through indie record companies in the US and also independent releases. And I continue to write more and more over time.
So what inspires like the content in your writing?
Oh, life.
Life, okay, experience.
Life's experiences. I also, it's very interesting. I love writing about, not love, I love writing about, how do you say, desire for something. For either be desire for a person or a yearning for a passion. I love writing on that because desire is such a beautiful, bittersweet feeling that you can tap into so many emotions when you write about it. And so I write about that a lot. I write about personal motivating stuff, like Begin is a song I wrote about recently, not recently, 2 years back, that said, just begin and you will know where to go. Just start, you know? So I write it like that. But a lot of my music in the English R&B area has Eastern influences in it. So I try to bring a lot of semi-classical feeling, tone, not obvious, very subtly into R&B music when I write it. So,
which makes you unique, right? So that makes you unique, and very rarely are we finding people sending messages out through R&B music. And so if you are, you know, the way your content is inspired, it's from life, and like we just heard, there's some kind of meaning and message through it. That's amazing.
Just trying to find my voice and be as authentic as I can be as an artist. Try to be as much as me as possible. So.
Great. So what is your vision then going forth as an artist? I mean, you are doing all the right things and you're riding into, landing into the right spots. Hats off to you for working hard towards it, networking and putting your mind to it. But what is your long-term vision?
My long-term vision with this is, what can I bring to mainstream music and indie music scene, depending on where I fit in at this point? I'm still trying to figure that out. As a South Asian artist, I don't think there's a lot of South Asian women representing that in the Western part of the world. And so that I've gained all this experience in Indian music, cinema. I know how the world works better now in terms of the musical enterprises that do exist out there. And so I've learned a little bit on the business side, but a whole lot on the artistic side, and realizing there's a lot of people who think they're supposed to be like someone when they present themselves as an artist. I'm on a journey of removing the thinking and actually doing what it is that I am as a person, and being completely unapologetic about it as a South Asian female artist, expressing the way that I feel is right for me without thinking what society will say, without thinking what will the upbringing I had, what will people in that upbringing say. And
all these expectations,
I'm really trying to do work that has removed the veil of expectation on it.
You go, girl.
Yeah.
You're creating your own niche.
Pretty much.
So we want to find out about your upcoming projects.
Yes.
But before that, it's time for a short break. Welcome back to Spotlight. We are talking to the inspirational female singer, artist, and much more, Dee Devan. So Dee, this is great. Love the fact that you take experience from life for your content, and you're doing music with a purpose.
Yes.
And for a purpose.
Yes.
So tell us about some of your upcoming projects.
So I recently did a recording with one of the band members, or he's the one that basically runs the band, Ralph Francis, in Agni. And that is, it's a very visceral song. I sing with a lot of passion and desire in my voice, and it's very haunting. And I feel it represents truly how I feel inside my heart. It's very vulnerable, the song. But it's not vulnerable in a sad way. It's vulnerable in a I am confident and sexy and that's okay kind of way.
You're okay with yourself, like whatever it be.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's a wonderful song. We're working on that. We're not sure when it'll release yet, but soon.
Well, we are privileged that you would share that with us. We look forward to it.
Yes, yes, I'm happy to. And I'm continuing to write content on the side and work with other artists to produce not only Tamil. So that song is Tamil original music. So I'm working on releasing that Tamil original song, as well as releasing an acoustic version of an electronic track I had put down together for English, an English electronic song. I released it on Spotify last year. I'm going to release the acoustic version, which has the Indian influences and semi-classical influences in it soon. I just haven't decided when. But I sing it live and people love it. People of all backgrounds come and ask me, what is that song about? I've never heard of something like that before. So I'm releasing that eventually as well. And ongoing is the idea of creating an EP with the sound of R&B and East included in it, R&B and semi-classical included in it. So that is a long-term goal for me.
Well, there's a lot on your plate with that, because it's not easy when you're trying to make your own niche, you know, not trying to copy somebody else.
Exactly.
Like you're trying to be authentic. So there's a lot on your plate.
Yes.
But I wonder, do you have any time for yourself outside music? Like,
oh, I have to.
Yeah? What do you do?
Burnout is a real thing. So I've really learned how to balance different areas of my life. Great. The truth is, with creating an EP, with doing these independent projects, money needs to come from somewhere. Considering my
yeah, we all need it.
realities of a capitalist world. So I'm leveraging my technical background and working contract work for companies that can use my engineering background. So I do that on the side, always seeking contract and part-time work, and looking to work with startups to use my technical data analytic background in that area. So money comes in, and I also have a way to like take my brain away from music and do something different, and then come back more refreshed to it. So that's something that'll always be a juggle. I'm also a yoga teacher trainee in India at the moment.
Nice.
My final certification will come in June.
Nice.
So I've incorporated yoga and meditation into my life on a daily basis as a discipline. And so that is something that I also am passionate about, and building a passion to talk to people about yoga and spirituality from a perspective of breath and mind and not fitness. So that is another passion of mine that is building over time as I build the discipline. And I love to read. So I read a lot of books too. So I'm a bit of a multifaceted person in that regard.
Which is great. Yeah. You're using every part of your brain, and that's amazing.
Yes. So I do find time, yes.
That is great. We all need that balance as well. I mean, you could be passionate about something, but don't overdo it that you burn out, right?
Thank you. Exactly.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
If you had to talk to your 8-year-old self back then, from where you are right now, what would you say?
Wow, that is such a good question, and such a deep and meaningful question. I will express that to the audience.
Go for it, yeah.
Have the courage. I think a lot of us are taught to follow a certain box of living. When we're born these really bright stars with these grand visions, but often family, society, and our education system tells us, oh, this is how you're supposed to be, this is how you're supposed to do certain things. But as children, we already know what we're good at, and we're very good at actually, harnessing it. And so I would say, have the courage to pursue the thing that calls to you in your heart. Have the courage to pursue it knowing you might fail, and being okay with it. Because I think failure is merely a stepping stool to knowing something better over time. And it's not, failure isn't a loss that you need to suffer with for a long period of time. But not trying is failing even harder than trying and failing. So I think having the courage to pursue the things that scare you should be pursued because it scares you. And also that failure is a lesson. It is not something that stops you from growing, are the two most important things that I want to tell people. Yeah, courage is the #1 word, I think. Once you do it, you will never stop growing and taking risk again in life.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dee, for coming and talking to us today.
Of course.
Not just for sharing all your music with us, but also sharing your journey with us, which is quite awe-inspiring.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sweet
We
of you.
wish you all the best, and we'll continue to follow you.
Okay, thank you, Amitha.
Thank you. Well, that was Miss Dee Devan, who has inspired us to be courageous and follow our own dreams. That's a wrap for this week's show. Thank you for watching us. Continue to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and write to us at spotlight@ethnicchannels.com. Until next week, this is Amitha signing off, encouraging you to follow your own spotlight.